Hey guys, welcome back to Friday Flowers and Fun. Friday Flowers with Karen. I don't know what we're going to call this, but it seems to be that on Friday I do my flowers and you get to join me and I get to talk about a little subject that somebody has usually asked me about. So today the subject is going to be how to live sober. I got a woman who asked me, she's sober now, and she says she hates doing everything. Like, everything is difficult, everything is uncomfortable. How long is this going to last? I feel awkward. And so I get that for sure. So I will talk about that while I do flowers. And I have some flowers. I liked what we did last week. So I got some pink roses, some pink carnations again. I've got yellow tulips. They've kind of opened a little bit. So they're a little bit more open. Which I think is fine because I think the other flowers are hardier and they're going to outlive the tulips. So I'll just pull the tulips if they start to die. And then I've got that chamomile. I bought chamomile again because I really wanted to use this. Remember last week it was too, the stems are too, fragile to put in styrofoam. So I'm going to do just a good vase. I mean, last week turned out really beautiful. I was really excited about it. But I couldn't really remember what I talked about. And the whole point is to talk about recovery, not to do flowers. So this week I want to talk about how to live sober, and I'm going to do a simple vase arrangement. I say simple. We'll see how it turns out. And sometimes I do these arrangements and all the flowers just fall to one side. So we'll see how it goes. What was I going to say? So I'm going to do flowers. I'm going to talk about this question. And I'm going to go back and forth like I do, so just bear with me, okay? So today what I did was I got this vase. I think I've used this before with you, and I did tulips, and I let them just fall open. So I'm kind of going to go with that again, because I've got these tulips, and I'm going to just put the tulips in. I think that's going to be my start. These are already kind of open, so let's just put these in here and let them fall. Okay, let's just see what happens here. This is going to be more like a free-floating, earthy, I don't know what it's going to be. Let's just see what happens. So I had fresh water in there. I didn't put any food in. Remember how I put the little packet of food in? This is the food that comes in the plastic wrap. And I have gotten so many, I buy flowers all the time, and a lot of times I mix them up, so I end up with extra, right? Well, I am not a professional, so I'm just going to mix it up with the flowers. There we go. My stir stick. And then let those fall. So what I've done is I just take this Ziploc bag and I just keep all these extra ones in here. So I always have flower food. And then if you've seen me before, last Sunday I took a bouquet apart. You'll probably see me do that in a couple days with that one I did last week. And I'll pull out the flowers that are all dead, and I'll take the ones that are alive, and I'll make a different bouquet with them. So I always like to have this flower food in case I do that. I try to get my big bang for my buck out of the flowers. And if a lot of you want to know how I can afford this, I go to Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's, the flowers are very, very cheap. You have to go in the morning when they first arrive because they're so cheap that people will come and buy them and then resell them, right? And a lot of people will buy them and stage houses with them and stuff, so they go very fast. So that's why I buy so many when I go. It's like a little thing. It's my little thing. I love it. And a lot of you have seen me. I'll even take pictures of them in my basket. Just makes me feel good. And it's part of my world today. I had to recreate my world when I got sober. And one of the things I decided to do was have fresh flowers around. Even when I ran the treatment center, I took fresh flowers. I would stop at Trader Joe's on my way to work, and I would take fresh flowers, and I would keep them on my desk. And it made people that came in to talk to me, the new people, and the families, feel so much more comfortable to talk to me. The flowers just, and they add life and they decrease stress. And I always kept some out in the lobby. And I got known for that. And people brought me flowers and sent me flowers all the time. So it kind of increases. So let's get started. So I bought some pink roses. So I'm going to put those in next because those are kind of my staples, okay? Now, when you get sober, you have to start feeling comfortable. Flowers fit into that, actually. I know you're thinking, how is she going to fit flowers into her talk? But they do fit in. The first thing you want to do is you want to start thinking about when you go places to see what you can add to, not what you're going to get out of it. Okay? So if you're going to a barbecue, you need to think about the barbecue, right? You're going to feel odd, right? Everyone's drinking but you. So you need to think about what you're going to bring to the barbecue, not how awkward you're going to feel. Start changing your, my whole thing is shifting your perception. Start shifting your perception to what can I give instead of what can I get, okay? So if you think, well, I'm going to call the host and see what they need me to bring. Oh, they need me to bring potato salad. Well, all of a sudden you start thinking more about potato salad than you do about how weird you're going to feel not drinking. You also might want to bring a case of water, because there's going to be other people that don't drink besides you. Believe it or not, when you first get sober, you think you're the only one, right? You didn't even realize before that people were at the barbecue or at the lake and they weren't drinking because you drank. So it's like everybody must be drinking, right? And they're not. So bring some water, bring some sparkling water, sodas, whatever that you want to drink. You don't want to set yourself up as a victim and show up and find out they have nothing for you to drink, because then it's just, oh my God, I feel so awkward. Everyone's looking at me. I'm just going to hold a beer, right? When you're new, you're stupid. So you just want to be prepared. Take something for someone else, right? Show up and see if you can add to. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm not sure if it's working out. I think I've got to get enough in here to rearrange it, is what I think. I don't think you can arrange it otherwise. Got some of these carnations. So that's the first thing, is when you do those steps, you're going to shift your perception. And shifting your perception is what am I going to take? Now, the other smart thing you can do is take your car, okay? If you got to go to an event this first few months, maybe the first year you're sober, take your car. Tell people, do you want to go with us? Sure, I'll meet you there. Okay, you don't want to get stuck. Again, you don't want your alcoholism setting you up for failure. You want to take your own car and be able to get out of there if things start feeling wonky, okay? Yes, wonky is a word. So you want to take your own car. If you don't take your own car, have enough money for an Uber. I had these left over from last week, and I put them in a vase. I think they're kind of like weeds, so these made it. So let's try these in here too. These were the Veronicas. I like them. I really like them. I don't know. There must be seasonal because I've never seen them. And a lot of these that I find, like the purple ones I used last week, those puffy purple ones, they don't even have a name on them. They just say filler or filler. So let's see if I get more in here, if I can get these to stand where I want them to. I don't know. I think you could have a turtle in the bottom of the dish. We'll see. Anyway, so you want to have your car. If you don't have a car, have money for an Uber. Have a way out, okay? Because what happens is you go to these things, this is my experience, is you go to these events and people start drinking, and then it starts getting a little different. And you realize, uh-oh, they're starting to get stupid. That's when you can leave. You can even leave and not say goodbye. They won't even remember. They'll just remember that you were there and you brought the potato salad. And the next day if they ask you, hey, so glad you came. When did you leave? I don't remember you leaving. Say, oh, it was sometime right before the band quit. I don't know, maybe. You could tell them the truth, whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. They're not going to know. They're just being polite. Most of the time they won't say anything. No one's ever going to call you and go, oh my God, did you leave? Did you go home? Maybe your sister, someone might say, did you get home okay? But most people won't. You just get home. Get an Uber, get out of there. Okay, that's the nice thing. You don't have to stay for 6 hours. All right? Take your car. Then, not only do you take your car and you take something for the host. Let's say you're going to a dinner party. This is my thing, and I've come to love it. This is new since I got sober. I had a sponsor that taught me this, is you never go anywhere empty-handed, okay? So if you go to someone's house for dinner, people are like, oh my God, what am I going to take? I usually take a bottle of wine. I think I better go don't buy a bottle of wine. There's a lot of things you can take besides wine, okay? You can take flowers. Now, you can take all sorts of things. Trader Joe's has these fantastic little succulents and little pots and little things that you can take as gifts. At Christmas time, they have these bulbs. I don't know if you've seen them. They're amaryllis, and they are in these balls, and they seal them in wax. And so you actually set them on your desk, or you set them wherever, and you don't even have to water them. The water is sealed into the wax. They're like the easiest thing. You cannot kill them, and they bloom. And a lot of times they'll double bloom. Now, I think they were $5.99, and they're so cool, and they come in Christmas colors. Silver, gold, red, green. There's even blue for Hanukkah. So if you've got a Jewish friend, what I did last year and the year before, because they have them every year, is I got a box, a big flat box, and I bought about 2 dozen of them because they're $5.99 each. So I think I spent like $120, right? And you can spend, you know, $30 on a bottle of wine. I spent, you know, 100-something bucks, and I bought these little bulbs and these little things, and just the stem stick. So you see them grow. They grow up in front of you. I mean, if you haven't seen them, they're just fantastic. And I bought those, and I kept them in my trunk. And as I went around, they were a perfect gift to give. I gave one to the woman who managed my apartment building. I gave one to the postman. I gave one to the girl that does my hair. I mean, all of a sudden, I just tied this little ribbon with this little card that said, "Happy Holidays, love, Karen," and I hung it around the little stem on the top. You don't have to wrap it. And they just leave it on their desk, and it's got the little string, little red satin ribbon with the little thing that says, "Love, Karen." They leave them there. They bloom all through the spring. They're fabulous. You don't have to care for them. Anybody, there's no green thumb involved. Fantastic gift, $5.99. You look like a hero. So when you start thinking about what you can bring to the party and not about what you're not going to do, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to drink. I'm going to be awkward." No, think about what's my hostess gift. Okay, candles make great hostess gifts. All right, candles. What else makes great hosts? I've taken everything. Candy. Trader Joe's has these great candies that you can take. All sorts of neat things. You could buy some flowers like this and do exactly what I'm doing. People love homemade arrangements and flowers. It's such a thoughtful thing. People love this stuff, right? And it doesn't cost much. These flowers are not that much money. I mean, even, this is the greatest thing, Trader Joe's has, so now I'm just pulling out some of these and I'm moving them around now that I have enough to stand it up. Trader Joe's also sells orchids, big, beautiful orchids for $12.99, $12.99. I don't know about you, but a cup of coffee and a piece of coffee cake can cost you $10. So for that, you can get an orchid and take it to someone's house, and everybody loves orchids because they're equally easy to take care of. And if they don't know how to take care of it, tell them to just put an ice cube or two in every couple weeks, and then ignore it. And orchids will last forever. Yay, I'm liking this, except for this is too much of this over here. Put this over here. So take something with you, okay? Now, how long will you feel awkward? Not for long. You'll get the hang of it. You'll show up. You'll be so happy that you went home early. You didn't get hungover. Everybody will tell you how sick they are the next day, and you'll be like, "I feel like $1,000,000, suckers," you know. You don't want to make people feel bad for drinking. You don't want to go to someone's house for a party and start telling people about sobriety and AA and ruin someone's party. That is your responsibility to keep yourself sober. You don't need to bring everybody down, especially if you want to get invited again. Just drink your whatever you're drinking, talk to some people, give the gift to the host, tell them take the potato salad in a container that they don't have to return, and then skedoodle when people start getting crazy, okay? So how would that not work? That won't work if you're going to the river with your family. You're kind of stuck, right? You're stuck. So you want to make sure if you're going to the river, again, that might be something you talk to your sponsor about and say, you know what, maybe I skip the river this year, just my first time being sober. Maybe I skip the river and I go next time, no, go next year. I don't think anyone's going to have a fit. I mean, I've even instructed people before, you know, have your husband take the kids. You don't have to go. Who says you have to go? You don't. It's you that's going to make the big deal out of it, right? It's you that's going to be like, oh, I can't drink. No, I get to be sober. I get to do a new and different way, and I chose to do it. I'm not being punished. I'm being rewarded with this gift of sobriety. Again, it's all your perception. So what are you going to tell yourself, right? What are you going to tell yourself? You can tell yourself a victim? No. Tell yourself you're the luckiest person on planet. You get to do this sober thing and help other people. And it might be in a year or two, you're the one at the party, someone calls you and says, hi, I noticed you were at Jill's party and you weren't drinking. How did you do that? Are you sober? Can you help me? That's happened to me more times than I can tell you. I didn't even advertise it. But people know if you're not drinking, usually you're sober, right? So I put a lot of greens in here because I had a lot of greens. You don't have to do that. It's got a very wildflower look. The yellow tulips are good, but they're kind of getting a little overpowered in there. So let's see. And I should have left a couple of the roses longer, but I don't think that's a big problem. Let's see, why don't we take this one out and put it up here. So if you can change your attitude about everything, when you go to work, instead of saying about like, how is it gonna be at work, how can you add to? How can you make things better? Can you bring donuts on Friday? You know, does everything have to be about you? Does everything have to be about you and how you don't get to drink anymore, or could it be about other people? Can you take over maybe the cake, birthday cakes at work? Maybe they don't even do that, and you could start that and making people feel special when it's their birthday, right? Look at that. What do you think? It's got a little wildflower look to it. I'll take some pictures of it so you can see it. I think I'm going to add a little water because I really went crazy with the flowers. I wanted to use them all. Whoops, almost tipped over my camera. So this, you know, same with going bowling. If you go bowling, take your car. If you're not used to bowling alone, go first with some sober people. See if you know how to bowl sober, right? Have some fun. Pretty soon, it's going to be more natural to be sober than it is to drink. You just got to give it some time. But take something with you. You won't feel so awkward. You won't feel like, oh, I showed up this party and everyone's drinking. I'm just standing here. No, everyone's going to be looking at the beautiful flowers you brought or the lovely candy, right? Everyone's going to be so interested in how you made the potato salad, right? See what you can add to. And then when you're there, help. There's been a lot of times, not even just in my early sobriety, but any party I go to. I go to a lot of events with my friend Judy, and where we're the only two sober, and we're the only two talking about it. And she and I get up and we clear the table, and we do the dishes. You can just tell we're the sober ones. We take out the trash, we make sure everybody's comfortable. And I think that's the great thing about sobriety, is you get to add to the stream of life. So thanks for watching me. Look for the finished product in my stories. Very fun. I love you all, and I'll see you next Friday. Keep the questions coming. I love you.